going to learn about displacement reaction. To understand this, we are having one activity. So in this activity, what you have to do, you have to take 3 iron nails. You have to take 3 iron nails and you have to rub these iron nails with the sandpaper. Then you have to take 2 test tubes. In each test tube, you have to put 10 ml of copper sulfate. You have to put 10 ml of copper sulfate in each test tube. Now what you have to do, I name this test tube as A and this test tube as B. Now you have to take test tube A and arrange the test tube in this manner with the help of the strand. And this test tube B you keep aside for comparison. So this copper sulfate solution is blue in color. We are going to see the solution is in blue color, okay? Now with the help of the thread, we are going to take 2 iron nails and insert them in the test tube. After inserting, without disturbing the test tube, keep the test tube with the nails for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, you are going to see that there is a brown color layer deposition on the nails. So the third nail which you have taken, that is also kept aside for comparison with these 2 iron nails and the third iron nail. If you see it, these 2 iron nails which are immersed in the copper sulfate solution is going to become brown in color, and the third iron nail which is kept as it is outside, that is. So if you see here color, and when you dip put the iron nail in the copper sulfate solution, it has become into brownish color. And the copper solution you have taken test tube A and this is B, right? So the test tube A which you kept here has changed its color from blue to, or it has been faded away. So here you are comparing the test tubes and the copper sulfate solution and the iron nails which kept under the copper sulfate solution. So can you say the why does the nail has become into brownish color and the blue color of this copper sulfate has been faded? Because of displacement reaction. So here they gave the reaction. It is iron plus copper sulfate solution. Iron is going to react with the copper sulfate solution to form iron sulfate plus copper is separated. Okay. So here one element is displaced by another element. Here copper is displaced by, actually it is CuSO4, right? So copper is displaced by iron. So we got FeSO4, iron sulfate or ferrous sulfate. So this kind of reaction is known as what? Displacement reaction. One element is displaced by another element, and that type of reaction we are going to call it as what? Displacement reaction. So we are having some few more examples. Zinc and copper sulfate solution. Here the zinc is going to replace the copper, so we got zinc sulfate. Lead plus copper chloride, and here copper is displaced by lead. We will get lead chloride and copper is separated. Okay, so here zinc and lead are more reactive elements than copper. Coming to next, we are having double displacement reaction. So double displacement reaction. To understand this, we are having one more activity. What you have to do, you have to take a test tube, and in this test tube we have to add 3 ml of sodium sulfate. You are going to add 3 ml of sodium sulfate, and in another test tube you have to take 3 ml of barium chloride. So we are going to take 3 ml of sodium sulfate and barium chloride in the test tube. You are going to mix it. When these both are going to mixed, you will get an insoluble substance, that is nothing but which is not mixed properly, and actually we are going to get a white creamy like thing, that is called as what? Precipitate. So these two things are not going to mix up. So here you are going to see this layer will be of water and the above layer will be white color, precipitate. So you are going to see the precipitate. So sodium sulfate mixed with barium chloride forms what? Barium sulfate, and sodium chloride is formed. That is nothing but they exchange their ions, sodium and chloride, barium and sulfide. They exchange their ions and we'll get different things. So barium sulfate and sodium chloride we are going to get. So what this causes? This causes due to double displacement reaction. So here the white precipitate is nothing but BaSO4 is formed by the reaction of SO4 and barium ions. Okay, sulfate ions and the barium ions. So actually what happens here, there is a exchange of ions between the reactants, and this reaction we are going to call it as what? Double displacement reaction. Displacement reaction is nothing but what? Displacement reaction is nothing but the highly reactive element is going to displace another element, and double displacement reaction is nothing but ions are exchanged between the reactants. Fine. Now, so here they gave some questions to you. If you have any doubts regarding these questions, you can comment me so that I am going to answer you. So directly we'll go for the oxidation and the reduction. So what is this oxidation and reduction? Let us see. So what you have to do, you have to take one china dish, and in this china dish you are going to add copper. Okay. Now after adding this, you are going to heat this mix with the help of the burner. You are going to heat the copper mix. What happens? The copper, if you see here properly, the surface of the copper is going to become black in color, or it is coated with black color. So why you are going to see this black color? Because of the copper is reacted with the oxygen. Copper is reacted with the oxygen, okay, to form what? Copper oxide, to form CuO. So here they gave copper is reacted with oxygen to form copper oxide, okay. Why it is happened? Because if hydrogen gas is passed over this heated material, the black coating on the surface turns brown as a reverse reaction takes place and the copper is obtained. So we got copper oxide, right? If to this copper oxide, if we pass a hydrogen gas, we are going to get copper again and water, okay. So actually what happened here? We have taken copper, right? When this is heated, it is reacted with oxygen and we got copper oxide, okay. To this copper oxide, if we add hydrogen gas is passed through this copper oxide, we are going to get what? Cu, that is nothing but copper, and water is. So the reaction to this, if we added hydrogen, we get the same compound back, okay. Now what happened here? When a substance is going to react with oxygen, so we can say that the main things here are oxygen and the hydrogen. So when a substance is going to react with oxygen, we are going to call that as the oxidized. The substance is oxidized. And if the substance is going to lose oxygen, if a substance is going to gain oxygen, we are going to say oxidized. If a substance is going to lose oxygen, we are going to say the reaction is reduced. So here what happened? The copper oxide is losing oxygen here, okay. The copper oxide is losing oxygen, so we are going to call this as the reduction. And here the copper is gaining oxygen, and we are going to call this as the oxidation, okay. If a substance gains oxygen, oxidation. If a substance loses oxygen, it is called as what? Reduction. And the process we are going to call it as oxidized reaction or reduced reaction. Got it? So if in a reaction we are going to see both gaining and oxygen losing, that kind of reactions we are going to call it as oxidation reduction reaction, or they are also called as redox reaction, okay, also called as redox reaction. So coming to the same example, here what happened? CuO, copper oxide, when went through the hydrogen gas, what happened? It has been, the copper lost its oxygen, so we are going to call this as the reduction. And when hydrogen got oxygen here, so we are going to call this as the oxidation. This is nothing but oxidation and reduction. Coming to few more examples, zinc oxide reacts with carbon to form zinc and carbon. So here zinc loses carbon this side. So here zinc loses oxygen and carbon gains oxygen. So zinc is losing oxygen. So it is called as what? Reduction. And carbon is gaining oxygen and it is called as what? Oxidation. In the same way, MnO2 plus 4HCl. So MnO2, O2 oxygen is lost and hydrogen here is going to gain the oxygen. In the same way, oxidation and the reduction process. So this is about oxidation and reduction. Now we will see what are the effects of oxidation and the reaction in our life. So first thing is corrosion. So you all know that corrosion, when iron is exposed to air, what happens? There is a formation of rust, right? So this process we are going to call it as what? Corrosion. Okay? Corrosion is nothing but the process where the iron articles or any shiny and few metals like silver or the copper, they are going to get tarnished. Tarnished is nothing but, if you see any copper utensils in your houses, you are going to see that there is a formation of green color thing on it, or and the silver also, if you see it, you are going to see they are going to become somewhat black in color. These two processes are also due to corrosion. Okay, they are also called as what? Corrosion. Because this copper, silver or the iron, they react with oxygen or air, and the green color thing or the black color thing and the rusting of iron is going to take place because of the reaction itself. So next is rancidity. So rancidity is nothing but, so if you observe properly, when you taste or smell any fat or oil containing food materials left for a long time, what you are going to see? You are going to see that the smell and the taste are going to change, right? The taste and the smell both are going to change. Why? Because of oxidation. The materials are reacted with oxygen. That's why the smell and the taste are going to change of this fat and oil containing food materials. So that's, if you see the pickles, for example, pickles, if you take it, they contain the fat and they contain the oil, right? So if you observe it properly, they are packed under the glass jars tightly, so that the oxygen is not going to react with these pickles and they are not going to smell or they are not going to change the taste. Okay, that is the reason sometimes you are going to keep the pickles or any oil containing or fat containing foods in the refrigerators, right? That's the reason, to prevent this oxidation only, you are going to see your food materials are kept in the refrigerator so that they are not going to get oxidized. So they gave some chips example here. So usually the chips which you are going to eat it, they are flushed with the nitrogen gas. Okay, the air which you are going to see in the chips pack is nothing but what? Nitrogen it is. Okay, that's the reason why the chips packets are filled with air. So here are few questions regarding the chapter. Try to answer these questions. If you are not able to understand or not able to answer these questions, please comment me so that I am going to answer these questions. So thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe the channel for more videos.